Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me this evening. Hey, and we have some really short problems to work on. The only thing is that the problems that we're working on when we're converting our units of measure is that it's going to take a little bit of time, and I want to make sure that you understand the whole process of converting it. So this is going to be on Customary. We talked about that today, and all we're going to be doing is using the length part. And on our sheet, let me pull my sheet, we're only using, and I told you to make sure that you circled this part, we're only using the length. So there's only 1, 2, 3. We're going from a mile to yards, or yards to feet, or feet to inches. Okay, and so we're going to put this in an input-output table, and that's the process that we're going to use to convert these. We did number 1 together in class. So those of you that were not understanding it, I'm going to go back and review just to make sure that you get it. And I'm opening up my paper. All right, and I'm doing it on a separate sheet of paper so that I can show all my work. This is going to be on Customary length. I get that spelled out. Today is 2/21 of 19, and on number 1, 3 miles is equal to blank yards. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is to make my input-output table. The second thing I need to do, so it's 1, make table, input, let's just put input, rule, output table, so that you can remember to do that. Second, label. So now I want to label my table. The first part I'm going to put is rule in the middle. I want to make sure that I'm going to write my rule. On the top part, I'm either going to multiply or divide, and that's what I'm going to need to figure out. Those are the two operations we're going to use for the conversions. The next thing, you see that I have, let me get a colored pencil. I was trying to look to see if I had. Yeah, I do. Here, this is good. I don't know if this is going to be light or dark. This one I have the pink. So I'm going to block this so you can see that this one is the first one and that's the second one. And so, since this is the first one, I'm putting the mile here. The second one is going to go in this spot right here. And so I'm going to put yard. All right, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my handy-dandy sheet because this is what you're going to have on STAR. So you don't have to memorize anything. You're just going to reference what you need to so that you can find the rule and then start the work. So I know I'm going from a mile to a yard. So I'm looking over here and I see 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. So I'm going from a mile to a yard. This is from a large to a small, so we said that we would multiply. We're going from a large to a small. We multiply. So here, it's 1 mile is where I put this, and I said that 1 mile is 1,760 yards. My rule, we said it was going to be multiply. I need to multiply 1 times 1,760. Okay? And that's where we're at. Now that I know my rule, I'm going back into my problem because it's saying that, well, if I had 1 mile equals that, well, then how many yards would it be if I had 3 miles? So I'm going to place my 3 here, and I'm going to multiply that out. 1,760 times 3. This is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. Carry my 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. So this is equal to, if you're wanting to, you can put the rule here again and keep repeating it till you remember that that's the constant and it's not going to change. So I'm going to have 5,280. Is that right? 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is. All right, so I have 0, that's 18, 21, 22, carry that over, and that's 3, 4, 5. And so now my answer, I'm going to place it over here for number 1, is going to be 5,000 280 yards. All right, and there we are with that. Real simple. It is, as long as you're following the strategies. You start moving those strategies around and not using it, it will get confusing. Just had a student today that's like, I don't get it. Well, then there were no strategies written down, so I couldn't understand what that person didn't get because it wasn't there. All right, the next problem that we have is going to be, which one was it? We're going to number 6. Number 6 reads 46 yards equals how many feet? First things first, make an input rule output table. So I'm going to draw my line, draw lines down, input. Here's my input. This is going in. That's yards. This is coming out. It's going to come out feet. So this is in, this is out. I'm going to take it in yards and take it out to the feet. What's my rule? How is that going to happen? What changes it? Do I multiply or divide? Well, I'm going to look at my handy-dandy reference sheet, which is going to be on STAR, which is going to be used because all the information is on here. And again, I don't have to memorize anything. Everything is already here. So I'm going to find the one that has yards to feet. So coming over here, well, this is miles to yards. Don't need that. I need, yards to feet. That's what I need. So I know I'm going to take my 1 yard equals 3 feet. That's the first thing I need to do. 1 yard equals 3 feet. How did I get from 1 to 3? You're right. I needed to multiply that by 3. Excellent. Okay, but let's look at our problem. If I'm going to be multiplying that by 3, that's my rule. If I end up having 46 yards, then if I multiply that by 3, so if the input is 46, the output would be, so let's multiply that by 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry my 1. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Well, look at that. That's going to be equivalent to 138 feet. So now I know that 46 yards is equal to 138 feet. I don't have to put my times 3 on here. I can to make it easier, but I don't have to. And so if I'm still trying to learn, it's not a big deal. If I've got a color code to let myself know, I'm actually going to go to the orange one to make sure, see if it's a little bit brighter. My yard, this is the input. Got to put it on my input. And then the output, got to make sure I have my output, which is the feet, and bring it on the output. So it goes in yards, comes out feet. All right, now I'm going to go to the next one. Is number 7. Number 7 is 15 feet equals blank inches. So my input and output, so I'm going to make my table first, label my table. First thing that goes down is rule, multiply, or divide. I'm going to highlight the first one. I'm going to go in with feet, and I'm going to come out in inches. I'm going in, this is in, going in with feet, and when I come out of my machine, I'm coming out in inches. Okay? So, I'm going to my handy-dandy reference sheet that's going to be on STAR. It will be attached to my STAR test. And I'm looking. Well, this is miles to yards. Don't need that. Yards to feet. Nope, don't need that. Oh, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. That's what I need. So I'm moving it over here. 1 foot equals 12 inches. What's my rule? To get from 1 to 12, well, I had to multiply. 1 times 12 equals 12. Well, if 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, Then what is 15 feet? And remember, my rule is still times 12. So I'm going to multiply that out. 15 times 12. Remember, I can hide my tens, so I can do my standard algorithm. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Cross that out, cross this out, put my 0. Now I'm going to hide my 2. Wherever I start this is my tens place, I'm starting here. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Add that up. 0, 8, 1. So 15 feet is equivalent to 180 inches. Okay? Is that helping you better understand? Oh, great. I'm so glad. All right, so I'm going to bring over here 6 is going to be 138 feet. 7 is 180 inches. Okay, we said that we skipped 9 because we're going from small to large, and so we're going to cover those tomorrow. Make sure that you keep this sheet because we're going to be doing the opposite, going small to large. So next we're going to be doing number 10, and then we have 11, and then the last one is going to be 14. So tonight we had 1, 6, 7, 10, 11, and 14. I think that's the ones I have right. Yep, that's it. All right, so now let's go to number 10. I'm going to place this on my paper so that I can see my work. Do not try to put everything on this paper. There is not enough room, and right now your brain is in training, and it really needs to be able to see those numbers lined up. And if you can see how it's color coordinated to help me remember that what's on the right side stays on my in, what's on the left is going in, what's coming out is going to be on the right. So got it? The machine is going this way, input to output. All right. Next one, number 10. Number 10 reads, I'm going 2 miles. Is 2 miles greater than, less than, or equal to 3,526 yards? This was confusing. Oops, I'm so sorry. This was confusing for a few people because it could be a difficult concept if you're not following input, outputs, and then labeling. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is an input-output table. And make sure that you do that. I'm going to place the word rule here. Then I'm going to have multiply or divide. This side here, I'm going to go ahead and continue color coordinating. That was a tough word to say this evening. This is miles. And this is yards. All right. Now I'm going back to my handy dandy resource page. And in my handy dandy resource page, it says that if I had, oops, look at this, 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. So I'm going to place that right here. 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. How did I do that? I had to multiply 1,760. Now, I have 2 miles. Well, if I had 1, then 2 miles, multiplying that by 1,760. Again, you don't have to continue writing the rule down. If you want to, 2 times, and you're writing out the equation, I suggest you do so. So I have 1,760 times